A visit to his native country of Grenada took a deadly turn for a Toronto man.
What looks to have been a case of mistaken identity. It may have cost Oscar Bartholomew his life. The 39-year-old was in the St. David's area of the eastern Caribbean island when he saw a woman he thought he knew. He ran up and hugged her. She turned out to be a plainclothes police officer and not who he had thought. What happened next sent the Toronto man to hospital where he died. CTV's John Musselman is working on this developing story. And John, there are allegations of police brutality here.
That's right, Ken. That's what we're hearing. I can tell you this Toronto man lived in the high-rise building behind me. It appears that this was just a simple mistake, but it did turn deadly. And now the Prime Minister of that Caribbean island wants to find out what happened here. Friends of Oscar Bartholomew are struggling to cope with the devastating news. A man described as peaceful and friendly, now dead after a confrontation with police in Grenada.
Even though you are a police officer, you should be identifying yourself and asking a question in the case of something like that.
On Monday, it's believed he saw a woman he thought was an old friend, so he hugged her. That woman was a police officer and she was in uniform. Local media says his actions were viewed as an assault. There are reports he resisted arrest and then was beaten by police. Bartholomew's mother spoke to CTV News today from her home in Grenada.
Well, it's very hurtful to know that he didn't do anything and it just took away his life from him.
Bartholomew lives on the 7th floor of the high-rise unit behind me. We spoke to friends and neighbors today. They say none of this makes any sense.
Oscar is a very good person. I'm so sad that when I heard yesterday that Oscar passed away.
He was the ball of the party all the time, you know, always making friends. People loved him to death. I mean, everybody shocked here. Everybody knew him. He knew everybody around here.
Always friendly, always nice word, you know. Very, very nice guy, I will say. One out of 1,000.
Meanwhile, the Royal Grenada Police Force says an investigation will be conducted with alacrity, objectivity, and an uncompromising desire to elicit the truth. And Bartholomew was in Grenada with his wife. He was staying at his mother's home there during a Christmas vacation. He goes every 2 years. Residents here at the building say he was a very friendly man. He would always say hello to everyone in the lobby. And they say this just doesn't fit his character, and they can't understand why this happened. Reporting live, I'm John Musselman. I'll send it back to you.
The Prime Minister of Grenada is calling for an investigation into the death of a Canadian man. 39-year-old Oscar Bartholomew died in the Caribbean island nation on Tuesday. To talk more about this, we're joined by reporter Marilla Fernandez. Marilla, tell us what happened. It's a terrible story.
I just, Jennifer, got off the phone with Oscar Bartholomew's mother, lives in Grenada. Oscar had gone down there for a 2-week holiday vacation with his wife to see his family. And what happened was the two of them, as well as a cousin, went out on Monday, and Oscar was on the street, and he thought he saw a friend of his, a female friend. And he went up to say hello, maybe tried to hug the woman, and it turns out that that was not actually who he thought it was. The woman he was hugging started calling for help and screaming. And police came and arrested Oscar Bartholomew and took him to the police station. Now, this is all coming again from Oscar's mother and Oscar's wife. When they got to the police station, apparently Oscar's wife is saying that he got taken into a room. She wasn't allowed to speak to him, and all she could hear through the door was him yelling for her and yelling for help. He was taken to the hospital after that by ambulance and pronounced dead overnight, so very early yesterday morning. And now we're looking for answers as to what has happened to him. His wife, as you can imagine, in shock and overcome. His mom telling me they have a lot of questions. Their son came down for a holiday on Friday, and by early Tuesday morning was pronounced dead.
And a cause of death, have they established that? Is it from blunt force injury?
They haven't released a cause of death as yet. We have been in touch with Foreign Affairs here in Canada. They issued a statement basically saying that the services are being offered to the family there to help them deal with the situation. We haven't heard back yet from the Canadian High Commission, but they're not actually in Grenada, they're in Barbados.
Yes.
So that might sort of take some doing for them to get to Grenada and figure out what's going on as well. So as the circumstances are right now, the family is alleging that there was police brutality. There is obviously enough controversy that the Prime Minister of Grenada has stepped in to call for some more details, and now we'll have to see what happens as we go on.
The family must be in shock. This happened during the day, the night?
This sounds like it happened during the afternoon. Then Oscar Bartholomew was taken to the police station, and it's not clear what time he actually went to the hospital, so how long between the police station and the hospital. I did also speak to an aunt who said by the time she heard about it, it was the middle of the night, and by Tuesday morning is when they got the phone call that he had passed.
Well, we know you'll continue to follow this story. We'll wait for an update. Thank you, Morales.
Thank you.